school has made more poor people than the government has. School is going to make you poor. School has made you poor, and school has made people poor in the past. And school is going to keep on making people poor if they don't understand what I'm about to explain in this video. If you're not a biased person and you're open-minded, at the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why school is making people poor, and you will try as much as possible to have the right mindset when going into school and understand why people that are in school without this mindset are guaranteed, most of them, to be poor. Now, I know you're a smart person and you're a very knowledgeable person. You went to school and you have degrees, and maybe you have PhD watching this, and maybe masters, and you know that you have what it takes, you have all it takes to make so much money, and you deserve so much money and a better life. But you can't just find yourself experiencing these desires of yours and you intend to blame it on other external factors like the government majority of the times. But in this video, I want to tell you that majority of the times you are at fault, but the problem is you don't even know that you are at fault, and that is why you need to watch this video from the beginning to the end to understand exactly what I'm about to explain and unfold to you. Now, school affected you subconsciously and you don't really know, and I'm going to explain it now. The first thing school did to you subconsciously is that, one, it affected your self-esteem as a child. And even if school didn't affect your self-esteem, school boosted your ego as an intelligent person. I will explain. Now, you see, in African school, or let me say especially Nigeria, in the schools that we attended, now you see there's something we call intelligence quotients, that is called IQ. You might know it is short form for IQ. Majority of the schools disrespected children with low IQ and called them dull, and then they celebrated the children that were intelligent which had high IQ. But what that did to the children that were called dull, the ones with low IQ, is that it affected their self-esteem. So this affected little children, and a little child that has been told that he's dull and he's dumb and he's not as smart as the smart children will feel bad, and it affects him over time. So that makes the children with low IQ look at those other children with high IQ that the teachers are favoring more as better than them and as more favored, or just in general better than them. So that is the first problem. So that child gets traumatized and he feels that there's really nothing he can do. And the problem is majority of those children just have low IQ. It's not that they are intentionally dumb, or because, to be honest, nobody's actually dumb, but the problem is they are not as intelligent as those other bright children, and that is how they were made. But the problem with school is that they didn't differentiate these kids to make sure and understand how to train these other children to catch up, or to train them in a different sector. The whole system is just so messed up, and the first thing it does is that it affects your self-esteem. Now, for the children that are intelligent, what school does to them is that it boosts their ego at a very young age. So those children look at themselves higher than those other children that are not in their league of intelligence. So they look at them lower and they now start to feel themselves. So it starts to build up ego in the little child's head. I'm going to explain to you how this affects the child in the future. Now, the second thing school did to you is that it trained you to become a one-man army. What do I mean by a one-man army? Now, you have to understand that in the days of our forefathers, beginning of time or so, human beings then, our forefathers needed themselves, or let's say a clan needed themselves, to be able to work together and cooperatively achieve their common goal. So goals like hunting and farming and other things. So nobody then can just go to the forest and hunt alone. Like that person is endangering himself. Like literally go to the forest with a spear to hunt a lion alone. Like that is so much danger. So then people needed a group of people, a clan or a community of men, to actually go out and hunt. But in school, you are meant to write exams and tests, and you are meant to solve those problems alone. So there was nothing like cheating and cooperation. That is cheating. That's what they call it cheating, but in an actual sense it's called cooperation, but they call it cheating. So fine, you wrote the exams well, you read and you didn't cheat, and you came out with A plus, and you're a good student, a first class student, fine, yes, but then it didn't train you how to cooperate with people, with your peers. But remember the story of our forefathers, like literally they needed themselves to survive. So one person didn't just learn how to kill a lion alone every single time and succeeded in doing that. They needed themselves to be able to be successful in that operation. So in the real life sense, being a one-man army doesn't make sense. It limits your potentials to making so much money. There is no wealthy person that became so wealthy by being a one-man army. This is even much more dangerous for the students that that's the children that they've just been boosted. Their ego has been boosted by their teachers in the lesser school. Then they now come to university, and when they go to university, they become very reserved, and they now start to look at other kids and other people, other students as less, and they are the ones that are more intelligent than those other students. So majority of these students finish school without making very strong relationship and friendship with most people because they feel that most people are not in their league. So these students end up finishing school without making any connection and relationship with valuable relationship with people that will actually help them. That is to help in the corporation, to help get networking. I literally had a conversation with one of our very bright students, an A student, yes, a 4-pointer, and she told me on phone that she really wished she understood what she now knows in life. Like literally what she did, she kind of regrets not associating with people. And that is what I'm saying. In the beginning, the ego was boosted since these students were kids. It was boosted since then. But now guess what? The children that were called dumb then, most of them now are the ones that are sitting at the back benches. I'm not generalizing anything. I'm saying most of them are the ones staying at the back bench and making connection and associating with themselves and cheating cooperation in the exams and tests. So at the end of everything, like if they leave the school premises, if they graduate, all of them, you now understand that life now changes. Now the big problem is, in the real world, you apply what actually works in the real world. You don't apply just an agenda that suits your own personal gain, like this whole setting of the whole school system. It's an agenda that suits a personal and a strategic gain, and I'm going to explain. Now, the third thing you need to know about school is that school has an agenda. It has an agenda that is actually succeeding. The agenda always, it has worked generation upon generation, and let me explain the agenda. Now, I want you to take your phone and literally go to ChatGPT and I want you to type this prompt on the screen. I'm literally displaying it on the screen now. What's the origin of the education system, and what was its intent? Tell the truth. Literally write tell the truth for the AI to tell you the truth so that it's not going to be biased. Now it's going to bring out a lot of written garbage. Just go down to the truth, literally. So just look at it now. The truth here. You can see the truth. Now is the truth I want to read to you. So just listen to me. The modern education system was primarily designed to meet societal and economic needs of its time. While a heavy focus on producing a compliant, skilled workforce agenda. While noble in some ways, it was less about fostering independent thought and more about maintaining order and productivity in an industrial society. Now, let me break down something to you to understand. Now, there are just two phrases or words, will I say, that I'm going to ponder upon, and one is needs of its time. That is the social and economic needs of its time. Now, what does it mean of its time? That means it's past. That means this system of a thing actually was working for, let's say, our grandparents or our parents during their own time. It worked perfectly for them, and they had jobs, they had money, at least they bought cars, and they were living happily, at least an average, or the American dream or whatever, I don't care, but they were living happily. But it was of their time. That means it was of the past. And you cannot just take things of the past and bring them to the future and expect them to work like the way they are working in the past. So these are the problems that we are having, and that is why I'm saying that the education system is making people poor, and is going to continue making people poor if people don't realize how to change. Now, the second thing I'm going to take here is more about maintaining order and productivity. Now, you see the word productivity, I want to explain something to you, and just please, if you're watching this video and you're getting value from it, just subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. Come on, subscribe now if you're getting value from this as we continue. Now, you see the word productivity, we have to look at what productivity is. Now, I'm going to refer back to the Stone Age when our forefathers, how did those people survive then? I want to tell you that those people survived at first by being creative, then second, being productive. Why? Because those people were good thinkers. They observed their environment and they now saw what they can do and how they can build tools and then use those tools to be productive with them. So they learned how to make bow and arrows, they learned how to make spears, they thought about it. Creativity was what was working. That's literally what I'm saying. Then after being creative to create tools, then they now became productive to use those tools. But what is school making you to be? Productive, not being creative. So that is why you see that you graduate and you just feel that since you've graduated, you are entitled and you're supposed to get work. And why are things happening this way? You have a work, but the salary is small and it doesn't go anywhere, and you keep on wondering why, and if only the government can do this, and if only the government can do that. You will never really sit down to think of how to create something using what is around you. So you don't see things around you, you're just boxed in, because this thing is a psychological thing, and it affects your subconscious mind with time. But now the big question is, after we've talked, after all said and done, how do you break free and how do you make sure your mind is guarded not to fall into this trap? One is being in a state of consciousness, because you see, you have to understand that the school subconsciously taught you how to enforce you to be intelligent, and most times it didn't work. Gave you knowledge, so it made you to be knowledgeable, gave you information, kind of taught you how to use those information and give you wisdom. But one of the things school never taught you is consciousness. It never taught you to think outside the box and critically think and analyze the world. Look at the world from the point of, what does the world actually need? Like literally, what does the world actually need? So you don't care about serving a lot of people. All you care about is how the world can serve you. So because you went and got a degree, you now feel that you can now serve, you can now be productive. So if you can think creativity, if you can come out and start to think differently, if you can observe the world from a bird eye view to look at, okay, what is it that the world wants? How do I create things? How do I position myself in helping so many people? And then when helping so many people, I get the big reward for helping so many people, because that is actually what the world needs. The world is very big, and I cannot just box my help towards just an industry instead of helping a lot of people. Now, I'm not telling you to go quit your job. I'm not telling you to no go to school. I am telling you that if you have a job, start thinking of how you can create another thing that won't necessarily affect your job. Just think outside the box. You can literally start to have a networking mindset right now. Start to network with people. I told you, all of these things are things that school never taught you, so you are not used to it. You believe in just making your money and staying in your own house and doing your own thing, and you don't believe in networking. Network with people, discuss about business ideas, discuss about creative things, discuss about how you can position yourself, how you can work together, and stop being greedy and stop having this self-centered and self-absorbedness that the school system has subconsciously infiltrated your mind and has germinated the seed that they've put in. I hope you got value from this video. Please, before you crucify me in the DMs and say, no, education is important, don't mislead people, I just want you to understand that if education is water, the water bottle carrying the water is the system. So it deceives you. The education is important. So you can deceive people with the truth, but it looks true, but there's deception in it. That's just what I mean. So you literally see that education is important, but why are you then suffering? That's what I'm saying. Why are you suffering? Why do you think that there's so much penury and poverty, and people can literally just see how they can solve their problems with so much things around them? Why can't people see it? I just hope this video helped someone learn to see things around you and use those things things around you. Use your phone, use your laptop, just use things around you, and learn to network with people, learn to be open-minded, to learn new things, and focus your knowledge about the things that actually works, the things that can actually help people in this present day and age, and focus on individual helping, not owning. If you have a job, I want you to have a business and have a product that you help people, have a product that people around the world can buy, can access. Have a product and learn to connect with people around the world. That's just what I mean. Just hope it helps someone. I'm not here to attack you. I'm not here to attack the school system. Please, metrics, please don't come after me. I beg you. I'm just here to at least help someone that is willing to hear. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share with your friends that might need it. And see you guys in the next one. If you want me to make a part 2 about this, just please leave it in the comment section. Say, Vic, please make a part 2 about this, and comment from where you're watching, and I'm going to reply you. Thank you so much.